Tonight we're going to the races, the bicycle races, but not the kind like the Tour of Missouri or the Tour de France that draw crowds and cameras. This is the kind of racing that pretty much just draws the racers. And in fact, around here there's only one place you can do this kind of thing. And why we have that place and where it is, yeah, it's kind of an interesting story. On a Sunday afternoon in August, when a lot of people were at home watching the Olympics, these folks had their own races to run. There weren't a lot of people out here, but those that were passionate about the sport of track cycling. And for hundreds of miles around, this was the only place to do it. At Interstate 70 and Kings Highway, in a part of Penrose Park that's nestled between the interstate and the railroad tracks, is St. Louis's Velodrome, a banked oval track built for one thing: racing bicycles.
Most people don't know it's here. Most people don't think it's an operation anymore. It's not a very fast track. It's the lowest level of tracks in the country. But it gets the job done. We've developed some...
Joe Walsh is one of the organizers of the track cycle races, and this was actually 2 days of races, making up the Missouri Bicycle Racing Association's state championships. But they get together out here just about once a week, all summer long.
It's a pretty small group of people, even nationwide. Around here it's probably about 30, 40 people tops. It's a smaller niche of cycling.
And it became a really small group in St. Louis when the Velodrome fell into disrepair in the 1990s. But a few years ago, a small group of enthusiasts raised the money to get it repaved and restriped. And little by little, people are starting to discover the Velodrome. These Australian cyclists are students who came to St. Louis to ride for Lindenwood University's road racing team. Did you know before you came here that there was a Velodrome here in St. Louis?
No, I didn't actually. So it's good to see it. It's only 15 minutes down the road from Lindenwood, so it's nice and close and handy.
It's a family thing for you guys, huh? Also here on this day, a bicycling family and the middle schooler who rode in her first junior race that morning. How'd you do?
I did pretty good.
Yeah. So you're coming back?
Yeah.
You're going to stick with this? It is a different kind of riding. For one thing, these bikes have no brakes and just one gear, and you can't coast. And that takes some getting used to. A lot of people try it and like it. Eduardo Nieuwenhuyzen is an avid road racer who was talked into giving this a try.
The first day I got on the track, I got hooked. It's the best part of the racing, that I love. It's intense. It's, the camaraderie is fantastic, and just the ability to watch the whole race at one viewpoint, it's fantastic. It's just the best thing I've ever done.
It may be unfamiliar to a lot of people, but it's not new. People have been racing bicycles on oval tracks since there have been bicycles. And racing was a hugely popular spectator sport in the late 1800s, really before auto racing became the thing. And there were tracks and a professional cycling circuit all over the country, including St. Louis. There were big crowds, big money, and big stars. St. Louisans certainly knew of Marcus Hurley, the American who won gold medals at the 1904 Olympics. In the 1930s, long after the World's Fair was closed, the city built a velodrome here in Forest Park. Actually, it was back there somewhere in the old southeast corner of the park, the part that was sacrificed to Highway 40 improvements and a new Kings Highway interchange. But the city figured we still needed a velodrome, so they built a new one in the early 60s. That's the one in Penrose Park. There are different kinds of track races. In a pursuit race, two cyclists start on opposite sides of the track, and for a set number of laps, they basically chase each other. That's pretty much it as far as strategy goes.
For me, I just need to go out hard and sustain that and just tolerate the pain as long as I can and then cross the line, hopefully.
The points race is more complicated, although it looks simpler, a group of riders all starting at the same starting line. But there are actually races within this race. There's a sprint every 5 laps, and points are earned and points are lost. And with so many newcomers to this, Joe Walsh took some time to explain the rules and the guidelines.
So when they're occupying that lane, if you have to pass them, you got to come over. The only way you can take the lane is if he gives it up.
This is a 30-lap race, and you don't have to finish first to win. You have to end up with the most points.
There's much more strategies. It's not necessarily the fittest person wins. It's the smartest person most of the time.
It's basically a chess match out there. Who's going to go first? You know, is that guy stronger than me? Can he hold the sprint longer? So you're always constantly thinking about those issues, and then you're racing at the same time, so your mind's racing a million miles a minute with all sorts of different thoughts in it.
There has been talk of building a new, better, faster velodrome, possibly in St. Charles County. But for now, St. Louisans who love this sport count themselves lucky to have this track at Kings Highway and I-70, because there is nothing quite like it.
Once you ride a fixed gear on a track, it's just beauty. You know, it's just a beautiful thing. It's just single gear, can't coast, there's no brakes. It's just so simple and pure. It's just a great thing.